Hey guys, I hope you're doing well. I'm back today for a new video on Forza Horizon 4. A video where we're simply going to go for a top 5 of the most powerful cars currently of this Forza Horizon 4. I specify currently since maybe you will see this video several months after its release. And maybe there will have been new models by then of cars added to the game. Some may be more powerful than the models I'll show you in this top 5. I'm specifying that this is a top 5 of the most powerful cars, not the most powerful vehicles in the game. Otherwise, I'd clearly be talking to you about trucks like the Volvo Iron Knight, which has over 2,100 horsepower once upgraded. And then we could also mention the Funko Motorsport F9, which is a buggy that has over 1,700 horsepower. So today, we're only talking about cars. The first car I want to show you is a special bonus, the Austin Taxi FX4 in HS version, which is an upgraded model compared to the basic in-game taxi. It's really a slightly rarer taxi and a bit harder to get that can be swapped with a unique engine in the game that allows us to get 1,305 kW, so 1,775 horsepower for 1,285 kilograms. And even if the car has shitty aerodynamics, it's one of the best cars in the game for the 0 to 400, and it almost rivals the Porsche PO edition, so it's really a very fast car. The issue is that it's an extremely rare car, so rare that I don't have it on my account. Mehdi lent me his account to make a video on it. Since I couldn't get it on my account, I reused old gameplay to illustrate it in the top 5 most powerful cars in Horizon 4. The next one, the top 4, is the 1932 Ford Double Down. A car added to the game quite recently since it arrived with update number 8 in the Barrett-Jackson pack. It's a car that's not on the base game. It's a downloadable content car that must be purchased with euros, or that you will obviously have included in the car pass. But it's very powerful. It has 1,830 horsepower for 1,100 kilograms. It's in 4-wheel drive in the configuration I have here, and I believe it's in 4-wheel drive as standard in the game. So it's in classic, 1,830 horsepower for about 1,100 kilograms. It has pretty good stats. It has 1,934 Nm of torque, which is huge, but there you go. Good stats that are a little overestimated, I find, because this car is simply hard to handle. So, I don't know if it's because it's very wide or if it's the wheelbase or the chassis or I don't know at all. But the car is not easy to handle with that much power. On the bends, it's not at all a really easy car to use without a good big family setting, so there you go. If you have the patience to make a big adjustment on it, maybe it can be nice in a normal race. But basically, I recommend it more for drag. Although, it's not that great in drag either. So, yes, it has good acceleration. I'll show you that quickly, by the way. Let's go on the highway there. It has good acceleration, a decent 0-300, but for 1,800 horsepower, it's not extraordinary. We have cars in the game with 1,300 to 1,400 horsepower that have better acceleration. It's a powerful car, but not insane in terms of road holding. It's clearly not a car that could be in the top 10 fastest cars in the game. We're going to make a peek and move on to the next one. We're peaking at 437. The real VMAX we can reach without hitting the houses is around 440. The top 3 is the Lamborghini Aventador LP 700 Forza Edition. It's a special edition. But it's a base game car everyone can have. You just need to be lucky enough on wheel spins, or super wheel spins, and you can get this car, which is completely insane. Simply so, you will be able to upgrade it to 1,890 horsepower for 1,350 kilograms, 1,837 Newton-meters of torque, and stats about like those of the Ford Double Down. Except that here, these are the real stats, it's not overrated. It really has a very good road holding, a very good braking, and it has a completely insane acceleration. And it's with this car that I managed simply the 3 stars, almost to us. In all the speed zones, in the radars, even in the jumps, and in some drift tests as well. So it's really a Swiss Army knife car. In general, if you can't fill a drift zone, a speed zone, a danger sign or other, you take this car and you're going to make it. In addition to that, this car is obviously available with racing tires, so I specify that by default when it arrives in your garage, it is equipped with drag tires. and it really has a shitty grip by default. I really advise you to switch it with the Horizon Racing tires, and it really becomes a better car for grip. It has a very, very big support. It's not the best car in the game in terms of road holding, but on the other hand, it's clear that it has for the shot. It has a super acceleration and a very high Vmax, around 273 miles h. And then, in addition to that, it has a credit boost. If my memories are correct, I will check that to not tell you bullshit. This car seems to have a credit boost in the game, making it a very interesting option, which has many advantages, including the advantage of being good everywhere. No, speed prowess boost, so it makes you earn more prowess points. When you drive fast, let's go. We're going to do a little Vmax test. So it has quite a bit of support, but right now it's set straight, so it's not where it will have the max. It's actually set more for radars. The balance is maintained at around 335 miles without any adjustments. Here's a car. Really, very fast. Let's move on with number 2 in a moment. And the next one is the Mustang RTR Spec 5, which has 1900 horsepower. 1902 horsepower. Which is in classic. This is a little bit special because here it's a swap. It's with the swap of the V8 of the Drift Mustangs. Number 88 and number, I don't remember how many actually, which are in fact their base engines that you can also upgrade on these cars. So to more than 1900 horsepower, but the problem is that it's simply these are drift cars. So it's a very high power that is completely unusable with drift cars. Whereas the Mustang Spec 5, it's a classic car. You can set the car for drift or grip to create a drag car. In this case, we have a classic car with 1900 horsepower, weighing 1,575 pounds, which is relatively heavy. It has 1,875 Nm of torque and decent stats, with slightly overrated road holding and good braking. But the road holding is not as excellent as what is announced at the level of stats. We do not have as much support as what would be needed for this car, and so the high-speed road holding is not necessarily excellent. It's correct, we will say, but no more. We'll redo a speed test each time, putting ourselves here. By the way, for the little story, the funny thing is that actually it's thanks to you people who watch my videos, mostly subscribers, that I discovered that there was this swap. Because the first time I presented this car in video on demand, I saw that there was this swap there, but I didn't know that it was such a powerful swap. And indeed, there are some of you who told me that it made more than 800 horses. And there she tested it. And indeed, it's nonsense. So, we're going to do a little acceleration and Vmax test. Just to test all that. So you see we're slowly going up to 420. So we have a little less acceleration with the Aventador. Why we have more power, but the car is also heavier. And then the VMAX is a little less good. 435, I think that's really the max, like what power doesn't do everything. If behind we have a slightly heavy car and then with a bit broken aerodynamics. Since here we still have a pretty square car. But there it is, clearly an extremely powerful car. And we continue with the Hot Wheels Twin Mill, which is a car that makes, I'm not talking nonsense, 1,945 horses. On a weird engine, well, on an engine. In fact, I think it's 2 engines, 8 cylinders that are on it. And in total, so we have a displacement of 17 liters, but it must be 258, 2558, 5, something like that. The car remains very heavy though, 1,800 kilograms, it has a lot of torques, and then it has stats a bit like a sausage, so it's not necessarily an excellent car, the most powerful cars. These cars may not be the quickest. After that, it's clear that it has torque, and well adjusted, I think it's pretty good. But you see, we have an acceleration that is not particularly crazy, actually. We also have a car that handles horribly in turns and is unusable in first-person shooter view. Because you see, you shouldn't drive it with the engine in front of your face. However, it has a good top speed. And here, it's not adjusted, meaning it's really just improved, without any adjustments, unlike the other models I showed you before, which were, for some, equipped with a top speed adjustment, a grip adjustment, or whatever. Here, it's really a car that might have potential that I'm certainly not exploiting 100%, but it's clearly not the best car in the game. By the way, For your information, know that this car, for those who don't have it yet, will soon be unlocked by completing this season's rewards. 80%, so I am at. But I already have it because the Twin Mill was to be won a while ago as a seasonal championship reward, so it's a car that is present in the base game. But there too you have to, let's say, try a little hard to unlock it, either in the sales room, or on a wheel spin, or simply on the seasonal championships. So there we are going to get to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. In any case, I hope it taught you something about Forza Horizon 4. Maybe even you discovered some vehicles. You underestimated their true monstrous power. If you enjoyed this video, consider leaving a like, comment, and share. New viewers can subscribe to my YouTube channel. Lastly, you can become a member using the join button below. See you soon. Happy gaming. Ciao.